I got all my mechanisms ready, so whenever you want to start, Rex.
I usually wait till it actually says 6 o'clock on my little Chromebook.
Oh, okay.
And when everybody still gets used to talking,
Interrupt him.
I interrupt everyone, scare them a little bit.
It's cold in here. Well, I turned the heat just down a touch. It's either one or the
Because it
other.
got warm today.
Well, and these heaters store a lot of heat. Yeah, residual heat. So unlike a sweat box in my office, it ends up being that way.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. You can all please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tina has the roll.
Then there are those 3 items in front of everyone that need to get added
Correct.
to the agenda when you make your motion. Please, I have noted their corresponding numbers and letters within the agenda. If you kind of keep them in order the way I have them in front of you guys, we should be solid.
Is it added to the consent agenda, is it?
To the whole agenda, actually.
Yeah, it'll go to the whole, yeah, the entire agenda. The top one from Deerwood Bank is going into the consent, that's for E. The Vessler invoice. That's next, we'll go 6-1, that's Mike's report. And then 6-3, the last one is not on the agenda because I subsequently took the police department's report off and then I got Rob's report after I hit go, so I wasn't gonna redo the agenda, so that would be 6-3 then.
Okay. So we can get a motion to approve the agenda with the additions of 4E, 6-1, and 6-3.
I move we approve the agenda with the additions that you just stated.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, we can approve the agenda since we. Need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the agenda.
A second,
I will second that.
okay. Any discussion on it?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none, motion carries, the agenda is approved. On to item 3. Oaths of office.
Max, I'll take the mayor and then I'll take the council members separate.
Okay.
So if you would join me. 31st. All right, Max, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Maxwell Goulet,
I, Maxwell Black,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
to support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
Constitution of the State of Minnesota.
and I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of mayor
the duties of the office of mayor
of the city of Blackduck, Minnesota,
of the city of Blackduck, Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you. And then may I have Counselor Hamilton and Counselor Frederickson join me. Same process. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I,
Aye.
Lori Hamilton,
Ron Frederickson.
do solemnly swear
do
solemnly
solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
to support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of counselor
the duties of the office of councilor
of the city of Blackduck, Minnesota,
of the
The
city of Blackduck, Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I'm sorry, my hand is very cold.
You're a lot colder than me. You need the sign.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're on to the consent agenda. I had a couple items that I would like to remove from the consent, so I will make, unless there's someone that have the same concerns.
I have two questions on two. I'd like to remove this to the first.
Okay, what would those be, Ron?
J and K.
And I will make a motion,
Oh, Max, what are yours?
you can, see on there the minutes from the
Okay,
meeting,
from the work session?
work session, there was just a typo.
Oh, okay, very good.
So, with items C, K, and J, or J and K,
I'm gonna remove those.
I will remove those. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda minus the items C, J, and K. Have a second. Is there any discussion on? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? First item, item C. Counselor Johnson didn't answer himself.
Whoop,
Yeah.
okay,
It's okay.
where is this?
It's B in the old business.
As if someone will code flying it. Oh.
I read that by 3 times.
That's cute. That would have
And,
been
and,
me.
and tonight, I'm just doing that as a, we do read these. Wait.
Good thing. Good thing.
Okay,
Thank you.
so anyway,
Okay, so duly noted, make those changes. You guys are funny. And then J would be the next one.
Jay would be the next one. Ron, you had a
Yeah.
concern?
There's a puzzling item on here. I've noticed the same terminology on the other reports, but this one is a significant, there's something we budgeted 750 for, and our expenses were just under $23,000, and that was bank service charges.
Oh, absolutely. Yep,
That seems
that's
to
a
be
good question,
A bit
Ron.
under budget.
Yeah, I
I'm assuming
know.
We're not bouncing checks. and paying
That's a
$23,000.
really good question. I'm glad you asked that because a lot of people probably wouldn't have caught that. So what we code under the bank service charges is our merchant charge, our merchant fees from our credit card companies.
Mhm.
And then any other subscriptions, like, for instance, we're only talking 609 right now. So what gets charged to this fund line would be all our merchant fees. And any other fees that our merchant charges us to, we rent, or excuse me, lease our credit card machine in the off sale. And then we also pay a small monthly fee for their gift card program. That's what subsequently totals up into this fund line. And so now last year, when we started the 22 budget, we were not budgeting anything in this fund line solely because we started late in 21, sending that 3% service fee to our customer to pay these fees. But after the 21 audit was completed, our independent auditors stated that we needed to still expense that because we were revenuing it on another side of our P&L. So if you look up, not up, if you look in the bottom section of the income statement where it has other income, there's another line below it that says bank service fees charged to customers
Mm.
for 21,280.93. That's the offset.
Okay.
Okay,
So that would be the the service percentage fee we pay for a credit card.
Correct.
transaction. And that amounts to that much per year.
correct.
And that's why it was, everybody said, yeah, we're gonna put a 3% credit card fee on.
This used to be, that used to be completely and totally taken out of the expenses
Yeah.
and never budgeted. And then a few years ago, when the legislature said, yes, you can do it, the Department of Revenue said you can do it, but you need to make sure that your customer knows that they have to pay that if they wish to use a credit card.
Mhm.
That is the policy we've been doing. So we do it here with utility payments as well. The company that takes ours in City Hall charges that fee to the customer that wishes to use it.
So in the liquor store, that would be the fee on all off sale and on sale.
That's correct,
purchases,
yes.
Everything in the building.
Yeah.
So if I were to buy $20 worth of stuff, 3% would be added.
Yep.
If you use your credit
If
card.
you use
If you use your credit card.
Yeah.
Credit,
I'm a cash customer, so you'll have to forgive my
If-
ignorance.
In most businesses, they consider it a convenience or a.
Yeah.
Some
That's-
type of,
It
other
looked like a
fees.
severe under budgeting to me.
it was a severe under budgeting. You're right. But when we started 22, we were under the impression that not having to budget an expense for that was okay. And when the auditors came in and looked at the books, they said, no, you really want that offset. So you can clearly see the transparency there. So it continued to get charged, but the budget remained the same.
Satisfactory?
Yes,
Very good question.
and then the other question I had was something I was unaware of the next one, the lawful gambling report. It looks like we have some issues of theft or mismanagement or something. I don't know.
Yes, we are short $603.
Yeah, well, it says a $500 ticket was missing.
So that comes out of our, the rent payment that month, then if something were to happen, that ticket, the way I understood it, so I did send this to Shonda already when I got it from Adam, that there was a winning ticket that went missing. And unfortunately, the gambling unit, the Blackduck Relief has to report all of those to the auditor. So that ends up being a hit to our revenue when something like that happens. The other problem to tracking it down is we don't usually know when it happens until a box closes or a game closes out. And then all those tickets go back to the department. The gambling manager actually has to audit that specific game. That's when they know something's missing against all the winners. Sometimes it can be a week to 2 weeks before we know there's something missing. I believe,
So when I think the main concern, and correct me if I'm mistaken, Ron, but I mean, if we're talking about a $10,000 transfer from the liquor rent fund to another fund, when we're almost at, you're creeping up on the $1,000 mark for an error, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
it's,
valid point.
I was just unaware of that.
Yeah.
We just assume it's
I,
carelessness, theft, or we don't know.
somebody could have threw it on the floor.
Yeah, and that's how I've seen that happen. Or somebody gets drunk, goes next door. Or leaves and they've got that ticket in their pocket. When I worked at the Eagles Club, Lord, have mercy. I swore that those things better than just, it was awful. There was all kind of fights breaking out
But-
because a box would close and the guy had a winning ticket, but now he came back and the box was closed. Well, you hung on to it too long.
I will say this, that since the installation of the machines,
This is the first
we
error.
have not had,
Yeah,
this is, I mean, you would have an error like this or similar, 200, 250, 300,
$6.
six.
Yeah. There was errors,
all-
counting errors.
So this
All
came
the
out of a
time.
machine error,
That's all we do is
Right.
full-time machines now. So there is a ticket missing. But, the other side to the process is when that ticket is a winner, there still has to be a payout and there still has to be that winning ticket turned in too. So when the winning ticket gets missed with the paperwork, then there's that error there as well. So Not that there's $500 that got taken out of, their drawer and pocketed.
Right. There was a $500.
There was a
Ticket that-
$500
that
winning ticket
That went
didn't-
missing.
that didn't make into the slip container. That
And then,
The
envelope that
box.
it goes into.
Mhm.
Somewhere in there, we did the paid out to the customer
Oh, you did do the payout.
and
Mhm.
somehow
The ticket went
the
missing.
But the
ticket,
ticket went missing.
whether it got set down on the bar versus, whether it was our error or a customer error. The ticket ended up in the garbage, probably,
Mhm.
and it got missed.
Right.
So that's why it's showing it short, because it actually got paid out. But the
But we
ticket
had no
isn't there.
validation because the ticket's gone.
Right.
Melissa, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you guys counting it like in and out every day?
Yes, we do. And we have an envelope system set up now that. We also have to remember too, in some defense, it happened during hunting season. So it's a very busy time as well, so things get missed, no matter how religiously we have this new system in. Paperwork can slip through the crack, but yes, every morning we count the till in. And every morning we check the paperwork, so we check to make sure all the prize tickets are in there. And it was documented that it was in there that day, so when we cashed out another winning ticket. It came out of the envelope at the same time. Paper sticks together and it got lost there.
Can I ask one question? Aren't they stapled together?
Yes. Yes, prize ticket gets stapled with the name, with the person who won it. The winning ticket goes with the winning prize receipt.
Because they have to show ID for that.
Yes, they do. Anything $100 and over, we have to have a valid driver's license for it.
So I'm not sure if, I mean, it answers your question. You don't necessarily have to like the answer.
I thought it needed some explanation.
But that is where,
Money.
that's where it's, it was on my list as well. So,
And they take that out of the rent that you collect, that you
Correct.
charge for them.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Boxes.
so it comes out,
Yeah.
yeah, the city share, not
Okay.
the.
Correct.
Right.
All right.
No.
Good luck.
And that would happen regardless of the location
Now, we're-
that the pull tabs are being hosted in.
Right.
I would like to, I do kind of wonder, was there more than one ticket on this case? Because that's a $500 ticket, but it's 603 off.
That's because
So-
of the,
Over the last 6 months.
Over the last 6 months, there was, a $50 shortage here or another, $50 ticket there. So it is two separate. The $500 winning ticket is a $500 winning ticket, and the other is just $100 shortage.
yeah, what
That,
I believe you're seeing next is, the gambling manager closing out his year. This is the last,
yes,
they're
Yes.
still gonna have December rent report.
Correct,
I think this is November's, right?
correct.
So they'll still have December's rent report, but this is them trying to close out their year. So,
All right. I think we've done enough of that, unless somebody needs something further.
No, but I assume that you've taken procedures to help correct that.
yes, we have.
Yeah.
Like I said, we count the till in now every morning, and we check the envelopes every morning now. We have each flare or each box has its own flare and envelope now that we check. Mhm.
So with that, I would make a motion to approve items C, J, and K on the consent agenda.
And then we'll second that motion.
Sir, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item passed. Thank you, everyone, for your. There's nobody for the Blackduck Forum. 6.1 on the mic.
I do have a copy of the Bustler's thing right there.
If you,
Okay, I put it under you.
This would have been in the bill batch, but it didn't
Correct.
get in until late. Does everyone have it?
Everybody has a
Oh,
copy.
okay.
You can remain seated.
Good. I wasn't sure.
Nope, that's fine.
Podium's right here.
So I just, basically, I just have to ask for it to be added. That's all it is. That was from the street light that got ran over down, south of, PFF, well, Levers. Down there, the one right on 71.
Cause it's our street light.
There's still discussion about that, but it had to go up and
I understand.
I was the only one willing to take the bull by the horns, I guess, so.
So there's actually two invoices here. You'll see there's two pages stapled together, right? So you're, in your consent agenda, I did provide to you guys a year-end general fund. 1-page glance at, and the street, this would come out of the street lighting budget.
It obviously pushes it over, but
But
I mean, I can't budget for people running over the streetlights.
No insurance on that?
Kind of waiting to hear on what we're really gonna do. I'm still really waiting to hear back from the state. I've spoken to, the head gal at the state, and they were actually looking back, trying to find some sort of paperwork contract. There should be a paper trail somewhere stating that it is ours, but I haven't heard, and it's been a while, so I'm guessing nobody's found that paper. So there'll be a follow-up call shortly to get things figured out.
We don't know who ran it over, huh?
No, they hit it fast enough and kept right on going, and there wasn't enough snow at that point, so they were able to come right on out of the ditch.
It's on the county road and highway, so you think it would be one of them two.
Been over this a
Yeah,
million
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's a, no, it's not, it's yours.
Yeah.
Not yours.
Yeah.
yeah,
So our odds of being reimbursed on this are,
zero,
Well,
other than insurance.
other than an
Yeah.
insurance claim, I
Yeah.
mean, we would have to file an ICR, have, the police department file a report. Provide the insurance company, statements as to costs associated with it. We do our street lights and our fire hydrants, we have a lot of property in the open that's covered under our insurance. So yes, we could make the claim.
Yeah.
We probably want to do it pretty soon if that is the choice, but we have to pay Bessler regardless.
Yeah, either way,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it's just a matter of,
It
it might be one of those deals where we pay Bessler, then once the state, once I talk to them, the state says, yeah, it is ours, whatever, then they reimburse us and we don't have to worry about the insurance portion, but
Right.
they're sued the state says first.
The problem is that we had to buy the pole.
Yeah, we
That was the
had
majority
no
of the
choice.
cost.
The old pole. It's not laying in, because it didn't get out of it.
Yeah, it's cut up and in the scrap pile now.
Okay. All right, so we need to approve this amount, is that what?
Yep, and it would come out of the street lighting budget.
And is there a way we'll know, Christina, when if we're gonna be reimbursed or an insurance claim? So that,
I will let you guys know what process we end up taking, and I will make sure I fill you guys in, because if there is a reimbursement, I'll show it on the side for you.
okay, thank you. I just want to be,
Yeah, you got it.
so who's good at math? What's the total?
1,007.
Little over 9.
Well, I can't make a motion.
47.
87, 81, 47.
87, 81, 47.
87, 81, 47.
So we'll need a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve invoice for $8,187.47 to Bestlers.
8,780.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote it down backwards.
87, 81, 47.
Yep, I switched them. I'm
Okay.
good at that. Okay.
Okay.
We'll rewrite
Got
this.
Yep.
I'll redo this.
So Lori is making a motion to pay the invoices for a total of $8,781.47 to repair the street lights.
Like that.
Thank you, John.
Any further discussion? I think we've already pretty much hashed it out. All those in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed?
Okay.
None. Just. If you're watching, please don't hit our street lights. For fire hydrants.
Second or third one since I've been here.
get a camera on this. Is that what you're gonna?
Can you put bumpers on them?
You don't want to.
I'll
put property.
People just need to slow down.
Yes, they do.
Amen to that.
Their meat, they made it all stop.
I see Shonda or Mike, do you have anything else for us tonight?
I don't, unless you guys have anything for me, we've just
It's
been.
not snowing, so.
No, we were busy with snow for quite a while there, and then we've just been working on pulling stuff off the curves and getting hydrants cleaned out and pushing snow back where we can. And
Yes, that was very nice in my area. Thank
Well,
you very much.
it takes a while when it snows every day for a couple weeks there. It takes us a while to get around and really start pushing back. So unless you guys have anything for me, that's all I got.
Yeah, I just had a quick question on the new public works facility there. I noticed in the minutes, it says the owner is responsible for painting.
Mhm,
Does that mean your employees are gonna paint
mhm.
interior?
Yep, yeah, it's just the
Offices.
offices really is all it is. The rest is all sealed minor panel in
Yeah.
there, so.
Just
the offices.
drywall interior.
Yep,
No.
yep.
I had a couple things. One was I saw on social media that there was a problem somebody was having with the water. That was just a
You know,
shift.
social media is,
Well, I
But
noticed
all
you had
good thing.
responded to this, so
what's that?
you had responded to.
I
this.
had because I knew the person,
Okay,
and it was actually on their personal, it wasn't on
okay,
a page or a forum or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much just chalking it up to a shift. We did some hydrant flushing. I never heard anything more. I never heard anything from anyone other than that person. I saw that there was a comment from another person that lived in the same building.
Okay.
Really, to tell you the truth, there's not much weight in social media posts to me. If there's a real issue, call my office.
and the chlorine line,
All good to go.
Good.
Yep, we got the new pumps in and got that all taken care of. New line installed and everything's working good. Our levels are spot on. Right where we needed them to be and never missed a beat. Yeah, no, the water, Minnesota in the wintertime and the soil that we have here, not just here, and you go to any city and everyone has the same issues. You get frost and then you get snow and then it pulls the frost out and then the streets, the frost gets driven down by vehicles and everything. It pushes it deeper and deeper. It doesn't take much for those pipes to shift a little bit. And any little shift in a pipe that has sat somewhere for a significant amount of time will knock off iron deposits. We don't soften the water in town here. It's financially not feasible to soften this water for us as a city. So we have hard water. Then you've got iron pipe in the ground. Kind of rots from the inside out, so you get deposits here and there, and when it shifts, one of them will kick loose. And it's a crapshoot on where it might go. It might just loop the whole system and dissipate. It might go right to someone's line if they're pulling water at that time.
well, I was just making sure that we got it
Yep.
on record that this is what happens in Minnesota.
It sure does.
The other thing was, the lake access.
Okay.
I'm sure you probably heard or
I hear off and on,
how does the city ever go down and clear out the?
No.
the access is not ours. The access belongs to the
the
DNR.
DNR.
Correct.
And I can clearly tell you that from the DNR's position, and this is the trails and waterways, the DNR's position is that no ice is safe. They do not plow anything in their parking lots or the landing because in their position, no ice is safe. So there's no sense spending money or wages or anything on it. So the state does not do it, period. So if anybody wants it cleared or they need access, that's up to them, but it's not ours. We don't own it as a city, so there's no responsibility. for
No,
us to
I
do so.
wasn't saying we did. I'm just
Nope,
clarifying for everyone out there in
That's
YouTube
listening.
land that wants to listen.
that's
we
great.
need
Nope,
to Please,
Yes, I've heard,
I am the last person you want to call about the ice on landing.
yes,
Right.
it's, you know, that landing out there, I mean, I'm a fisherman. I know
Well,
what it looks like. It heaves every year there. The concrete pad going into the water heaves. And then you have,
My phone rings, your phone rings.
yep, yeah, I mean, you know, the city doesn't own the access or the lake. And
nope,
truth be told, to be, you know, completely blunt and frank about it, people that are trying to be the first one on the ice and plow with a small four-wheeler or a small SUV and they don't know how to plow in the first place, go talk to them about the messed up access conditions.
yeah. And from the state's position, it costs them enough money to, you know, fix the cement blocks for the landings in the summer. And to put the docks in, you know, for an entire district. And they don't have a lot of staff. One of the reasons they went down to smaller docks was because they don't have the staff to put the bigger docks in.
Which brings me to next thing.
Before you move on, I want to touch on one thing.
Shoot,
I don't want to say that we've never done it down there. Because they have radar runs and whatnot down there, and we've been asked to help before to open things up. So yes, we may be down there at some point in time, but it is not our responsibility to
Correct.
take care of it on a
that was
permanent
where I
basis.
was
That-
going
that-
to next, was that, you
Okay.
know, it is part of our tourism.
Yes.
Too.
That is a Pandora's box of opening Max,
Yeah.
and solely because the jurisdiction of who's the closest local government to that landing will end up getting phone calls like crazy now. What do you do about the west access?
There is west access?
There's a west access. It's been open since 2016
I didn't know.
and it's in Hines Township,
And the other part of that is there's also a couple of resorts operating ice roads out there.
right?
So people can pay and use a perfectly plowed ice road to get out. So,
Well, and I think if you plow it,
but we're not
you're
touching. the lake
telling
with plow.
people, but I
That
mean,
we're
if it was,
gonna do it, yeah.
well, you're also saying it's safe.
That
So
is
I'm gonna
why,
drive out there.
this is why the DNR does not do it.
This is why I wanted to make sure everybody here knows
Yeah.
this is what we're not doing.
I think something that needs to really be clarified here, though. Is that in the past, when the city has been asked out there, the city's not on the ice. The
No.
city, when I say the access, I'm talking about the parking
Parking
lot
lot.
portion.
Okay.
We're not touching the lake. That's not happening. So just to clarify
For
that.
parking, okay, I see, you're being asked to.
Because there are, I will say, there are some people that do park down there and they snowshoe through Pine Tree Park or ski through there.
Or they walk out on the lake.
Yep, but again, it's not our responsibility. It's not a priority for anyone. It's not on the radar. I have heard in the last couple of weeks some complaints about it. And
I see.
they didn't learn how to plow.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Now then. I have nothing else for you.
Anybody?
We're good, we move on?
We can
Okay.
move on.
You will move on. I see Shonda's not here. But Melissa is, so. You have anything you want to tell us?
No, I don't know that you guys have been able, the inventory hasn't completely been, or it's done, but I don't know if the numbers have finally come back on.
I haven't shared anything with the council on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, the numbers are very, very good. They're just over $1,000 difference from the beginning of 21 to now, or 22 to now, which is still less than, 1% of variance, so that's still really good. And one that actually the largest portion of that variance is one invoice that didn't come in with a credit from a vendor. And some vendors like to insist that we pay them and then they issue a credit, or we receipt our inventory even though we don't get it, and then they issue us a credit, so then we back it out. And some vendors insist we do it a different way. So those types of variances show up at the end of each year when we do our physical inventory, and one of those showed up. I want to say it was about $565 of that $1,000 that we were off, so very good inventory, nice and clean. It also helps tremendously that at the beginning of 2002, we were just building our inventory up with the new addition to the off sale.
Correct?
So there wasn't a ton on hand at that point. I think if you look at the liquor income statement where I have the on hand noted in cost, there's just like $1,200 difference in ownership difference from the beginning of 22 to the end of 22. So that's a really good variance to have. Does that help? Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't,
We'll see the numbers next.
you'll probably see the numbers when I provide the audit. When the independent audit gets done.
Okay.
Yeah. But the physical inventory is always done on New Year's Day for those of you that did not know.
Promotion stuff going on.
Yeah, actually, we've got quite a bit of stuff. We had a supervisor meeting on Sunday to set up our promotions and bands and kind of get a head start on how we want to plan this next year. Along with, budget wise stuff to check into, so. Rolling forward with that, we're implementing a little more for the pull tabs to make sure we can get that dialed in. Much more consistency now on it than we. It's always room improvement for some things, so. Gonna just touch base with all the employees to make sure everybody's on the same page with how our procedures are done and follow that. Kitchen is doing well, expansion, we're kind of looking at revamping our food menu a little bit to kind of out with stuff that's not been selling so well and changing it up with something that we're gonna try a few new things here and there. Keep running our weekly specials. Roll some more stuff in off sale and run some more sales in the bar. And see where we can go.
Anything else for Melissa? Thank you. That's you, Christina, or, well, yeah, we all have Rob's
We've got Rob's report.
report here,
That would be
6.3.
6.3
Like to point out that that's like 40 calls.
for the month of December.
Yep, that's. For as part, as little as he's. Physically in the cruiser, and I mean, Zach's been fairly busy too.
Well, that's, yeah, and that's predominantly Zach,
Zach,
yeah. School's back in, so Rob has been teaching.
Right.
A lot, and he hasn't had a ton of hours in December, but he did have, over winter break, so he was here, but yeah, 40 calls for the month of December.
Oh, medical
A lot of medicals,
and security checks were a little high there.
yeah,
it just gives us something.
I like this. Thank you for this. Whoever. thought
Rob
of
is
it.
doing that, I'll,
For doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's getting somebody from records helping him compile them.
Yeah, so he's not.
Yeah.
I realize it doesn't mean that, it's just one piece of paper, but it's still. It
It's
is,
good to see what's going on.
and it allows us as a council to answer those questions when we're in public, to say, hey, no, there was
Okay.
this many calls. What do you mean we don't, you say we don't have a we have police.
And this doesn't include any deputies that may have responded to calls either. This is just. the
Correct.
department.
There's been a lot of deputy presence in town.
Mhm.
I've really noticed.
Sheriff trucks. I've noticed.
Lots of.
So with that, we will move on to you, Christina,
Okay.
administrator's report.
All right, so I have a few items that will need approval. I'll just let you guys go down the line. The first one is the formal request from Blackduck Co-op to approve the exhibit for the rail bank conveyance of property. We discussed this at the work session. If the exhibit is approved tonight, I will provide to Rachel Merrill the letter of support. And nothing has changed since I sent this exhibit to you guys at the work session. So unless you came up with some questions from them, it should be the same.
I just have one question. I was kind of looking at this and the other map right there, putting in.
Mhm.
So they're just gonna go, they're just getting this property just right here on the side.
This one here.
That's all they're going for, just that. They're not going way out in here, way out
No,
up in there. We're not going-
No, only
Oh, just
Yeah.
right there.
the state has to maintain that 100-foot corridor.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the parcel that they're requesting, obviously the right of way in order to cross, and then this easement here.
Okay.
So they can access that property. So this would be the parcel that they would end up being purchasing from the state.
Okay, that's what I want.
So I would just ask that the motion be in the form of approval of the exhibit.
do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the exhibit
For the Blackduck Co-op?
for the Blackduck Co-op.
Do I have a second?
We'll second that motion.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none? Motion carries. We are in support of the co-op.
Item B is resolution 2023-01, the resolution authorizing the sale of public property in the city. And this was discussed at the work session. Additionally, this was the discussion about selling the old lumberyard building.
Correct.
So nothing has changed on that. I just need approval, please.
So we'll make that motion.
Resolution number 2023-01. We are approving this.
Do we have a second time?
I'll second that motion.
You'll second that motion. Any discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is resolution 2023-02, the resolution of annual appointments and designations for 2023. Changes made or addressed at the work session. with appointing Council Frederickson as vice mayor. Adding. Updating the library board, adding Mayor Goulet to the finance committee, and updating the historical preservation committee.
Did we not also remove the name of the person with Woodset?
I did, good catch, only due in part to the fact that Kurt is currently not working. I felt it'd be easier to leave the title of the company at this point, although I'm still gonna work on that RFP.
Motion to approve resolution 2023-02. Resolution of annual appointments and designations for 2023.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second, is there any further discussion on the appointments?
No.
Somebody wants to radically just volunteer for a few?
Not it.
All those in favor?
I,
Aye, opposed? None. Motion carries.
Item D is resolution 2023-03, a resolution acknowledging a donation from the Blackduck Fire Relief Association. This donation is typically made at the beginning of each year, closing out the previous year of gambling. This goes to the fire department special equipment fund. And the amount is noted in the resolution.
And if we could get that amount in your motion, please, that would be great.
so motion to approve, resolution number 2023-03. Acknowledging donation from Blackduck Fire Relief Association of $160,000.
Correct. I have a motion, is there a second?
Second that.
Good. Any discussion?
No,
All those in favor?
I,
Aye, opposed? Seeing none, motion carries.
Letter E is resolution 2023-04, a resolution in support of a local sales tax option. Starting the process once again. Here are the updated amounts, listing our projects of regional significance.
those have to be listed
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
motion.
Oh, what? How about we just do the whole, how about we just do the title?
Just do the, yeah, well, on this one, it's not necessary for this.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that there's amounts got in on the fire.
Okay. I'm like, what? They're on here. Okay. So this is to resume or
We are
We
starting
start
over
over.
again. I'll fill you guys in on some details
Okay.
later on.
Let's get through
Okay.
these.
motion. For motion to approve resolution number 2023-04. Starting over with the sales tax. To support. What are we supporting here?
Regional.
Regional
projects.
Significant projects.
That's
There you go.
good.
We have a motion. Sort of.
Well-
Do we have a second? 9 seconds, all right. Any discussion on this?
I'm not so.
All those in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? None, that motion carries.
Letter F is, resolution 2023-05, a resolution decertifying the tax increment finance district 1-4 in the city of Blackduck. This district, 1-4 was, pretty much sunsetted in 2019. We stopped receiving increment around 18 or 19 from this district. And since we met our total increment for it, Ellers's financial advisors is advising that we close it and decertify it to the county auditor so that they understand. There should be no information being received anymore. So we'll still keep 1-6 open, which is the townhomes that CDC owns over by the Shade Store, the Oscar. This one was created back in the late 80s, early 90s, I want to say. When Heritage House, which is now Serenity Living Solutions, was built. So it is definitely a sunsetted project and it just needs to close out. But we have to do it by a formal resolution in order to close it and close that TIF district.
And just so Lori doesn't have all the fun, I will make a motion to pass resolution number 2023-05. Decertifying the tax increment financing district 1-4 of the city of Blackduck.
Second.
Still want to get in on it.
Is there any further discussion on this?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries as well.
All right, item G, resolution 2023-06, a resolution approving an excluded bingo license for the Blackduck Area Chamber of Commerce. This one represents bingo to be located at our municipal liquor store at the Pond on February 19th, March 19th, and April 16th of this year.
I will make a motion to approve. Item 2023-06. Excluded bingo application for 3 days, Blackduck Area Chamber of Commerce.
Do I have a second? Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item H is resolution 2023-07, a resolution approving an exploded bingo license for the Blackduck Area Chamber Conference to be held on August 19th of 2023 during Backwoods Bash at the Blackduck Woodside West Park.
We'll make a motion to approve item 2023-07, resolution supporting bingo application, Blackduck Area Chamber of Commerce for Backwoods Bash in August.
Do I have a second?
second.
Any discussion on that one? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries.
Item I is the City of Blackduck Conflict of Interest and Code of Ethics policy for elected officials, board members, and commissions and committees. This is renewed each year, first meeting of the council. Nothing has changed. Take it back off the January meeting with new signatures and new adjustments.
And this is something all our committees are signing.
Yes, well, put it this way. As a personnel member of the city of Blackduck, I already signed it when I became an employee. So I already signed my personnel policy and there's language that's in that, just like this.
This.
But
So,
your elected officials are only holding themselves accountable. So this was drafted and approved back in 20, 19,
19.
when we started it.
Yeah, I was pretty new then.
So that our board members that are not employees or, can hold themselves accountable and for the taxpayers in the city.
Very good.
I hope everybody read it.
Motion to approve. The code of ethics policy, conflict of interest. Okay. Any discussion on this?
No,
When it says updated January 9th. Were there any actual changes made to the document or is it just our updating it as re-signing?
The latter of the two statements you're
There
asking.
we go. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, letter J for your review is an updated grant notice from Deed. This is in preparation for the final loan agreement for the redevelopment grant that we received to take the buildings down here on Main Street. The council may recall that there was a slight difference that we couldn't, we had no other invoices to get reimbursed for based upon the original amount of the loan grant. So Deed has to subsequently submit an adjustment notice so that their paperwork is right. So if you look at the page where it has the total under the final column, that would be the amount that would be the grant loan total. So that once the property flips and we fulfill our obligation to have it redeveloped with new commercial property, the 50% of this dollar amount is the forgivable amount.
So that's,
So it's a little less. So
It's
that's a good thing.
it's a little bit of a plus for
It's
us.
a bit of a plus. Not a ton.
No, no, I mean,
It's still,
I'm
you
gonna,
know,
I'm gonna take.
I'm
all
gonna
the
take that
victories.
phone too.
Anytime you throw one out there.
Yep.
We're gonna
So
take it.
There's nothing for the council to approve. It's me just fulfilling my obligation to make sure you guys know where our dollar amounts are at. And I felt it was easier to do this under my report than put it in the consent agenda and have you guys pull it out and ask a question. So ask away. Any questions, you guys?
Just one,
Yeah,
make sure everybody that is clear. I mean, it's not just that the property sells. Does it have to be
built.
built?
have to be developed.
So,
Yep, that's
If
step
it's-
one.
yeah, sold is great, but
Yep.
developed is better.
Yep.
Okay,
Is there a timeline on that?
yes,
Yeah, the loan is set to begin on, I believe it's March 1st done of this year. And as soon as we can get somebody to redevelop it, then that forgiveness can start. So that's why I keep pushing the goalpost closer so that we can get that flipped over. So the sooner I can close on the property, the sooner the snow can disappear. Hopefully that person that's buying it will have some construction soon.
Do we have somebody interested in the property?
Yes, it's in the purchase agreement as we speak.
it's already,
Cool.
I did get an update from the title company today. They did receive their last affidavit from the county auditor treasurer, so I should hear back here soon as to when the updated closing date would be. So maybe I'll have something for you guys at the work session this one. Okay. Anything else on that? Okay, perfect. Kay, I just want to fill you guys in on a couple of things from the local option sales tax. So, approving a resolution tonight was the right process. I received a late email that I provided to you guys Friday night. Greg Carlson's our policymaker, and he's a lobbyist for the League of Minnesota Cities. So he heard late on Friday night that the Senate Tax Committee Chair was going to have a meeting today and a hearing and testimonies, a hearing tomorrow and testimonies on Wednesday regarding bills that didn't pass, that the tax committees passed in 22, waiting for, both the House and the Senate bills to be completed at the end of the session in 22, which we all know didn't happen. There was talk on Friday that there might be some inclusion to all of the local tax options from all the rest of the cities included in that, in those bills, that there might be some renewed activity on those, and to kind of just hang close and see. So today, what I did was I provided you guys that information. And the agendas of those hearings and testimonies In hoping that it would be something that would kick us past the goalposts and we didn't have to start this process over again. But Gary Carlson said, no, start your process just in case, because we really don't know what the content of that meeting today was going to be. Late this afternoon, he did email all of the cities and included us on what the meeting was about. And this is the language he said. He said this afternoon, several of the league staff met with Senator Rest and and committee administrator Mitch Bergen to discuss the hearings this coming Tuesday and Wednesday. Based on the chair's comments, she is using the bill as an introduction to the array of tax issues that will come before the committees, and not using the bill as a starting point for the 2023 tax bill.
So it's.
What we're doing is the right process. He says,
Okay.
as such, I leave it up to each of you about whether you want to testify or submit written testimony, but based on her description of the hearing, this is more of an overview of the committee's jurisdiction. He further says, that said, I will be testifying on the bill of an array of issues impacting the cities and intend to generally mention the local sales tax projects included in last year's bill, as well as the need for an adjustment process for many of the 21 authorizations due to inflation and the likelihood that the 22 projects will likely be resubmitted with higher association costs due to inflation, which we discussed in your work session. He suggests that each city considering a new or extended sales tax assume that you need to follow the normal process for submitting the project for consideration, including a council adopt resolution, which we just did, and supporting information on the project and requisite assessment of the project's regional significance, and make the January 31 deadline. So we will just start again. So I wish I had better news. I was kind of hoping that it would be like, hey, you don't have to do anything over again, but that's not what ended up happening. I'll keep you guys abreast of. I'm not going to attend any of the hearings or testimonies. Yes, we have like about a 23% increase in costs over the original one, but every stinking city that's in that bill does. So they've got to know that.
And that's probably why they're just using it as instead of a starting point, using it as overall.
Correct.
Okay.
Any questions, you guys?
No,
Okay. Kind of got my hopes up Friday night.
yeah, I saw the email and I did the same thing.
I was like, oh, this is awesome, but. The rest of my items underneath me are just dates. This Wednesday, the 11th at 11 o'clock, the Development Board will host their monthly meeting here at City Hall. January 16th is our holiday of observing Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, so we will be closed. On the 18th at 2 p.m., our Planning Commission regular monthly meeting is in session here at City Hall. And on the 19th, the ambulance board, local ambulance board of directors meets here at City Hall at 9:30. We agreed to have our work session for January on January 23rd. Again, that'll be at 6. Lori, I do have dates noted that you won't go here. Also February 6th then will be our next council meeting.
Christina, real quick,
Yeah,
with that, I would like to just, since Lori's going to be gone for those dates, and I'm not 100% sure with Counselor Sites, it'd be real important that the three of us
so have
are
here
here.
a quorum. And if
I just
something
want
comes up,
it's that important.
just involve myself or Max so that if we don't, then we have to push it a day or we have to postpone our work session or something then. We can take this on Zoom. Can you go Zoom?
Can't you participate from Mexico?
Yeah.
I don't think
Isn't
that would
this a
be
cat?
The
appropriate.
question, the answer is yes, but the other question is, does she want to?
I don't know if you've heard this, but I had the right to keep silent, but I didn't have the ability. I go-
But that's a really good point. I'm glad Max said that because obviously, you know, we have an absence here, so we just want to make sure that we can continue our business.
Okay, continue, please. I'm sorry.
Perfect, perfect. The last item, I have is that I did receive our date, for the local board of appeal and equalization on property taxes. And that is scheduled for May 2nd at 1 o'clock here at City Hall. That's when Beltrami County's, assessor's office would be here. So I'll keep this one on the agenda, just as a consistent reminder.
Yes, please do, because the more times we get it out there, maybe. if
Some more
people
people remember.
If people have some real concerns, and there are some folks out there with real concerns on their,
On their taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so. If
And
they
I
have
don't-
questions, this is the best way to get them answered.
right.
And unless other questions or concerns have come up for my departments, that's all I have.
How's your, DMV stuff coming?
Great question. I keep bugging my rep from Park Rapids every other day. We were waiting for MMB to give me the final okay. I went to Paige and I reopened the sandbox so that we can continue training on Min Drive, but we are totally on a waiting game. So on a general fund expense level, I know that we provided some money into that department and moved some of our wages into that one fund. I haven't done it yet. I haven't adjusted it, and we already went to payroll one for 23. I just don't feel right moving that percentage over just yet.
I saw the credit card statement. You know, and it was for that purpose.
Yeah,
And then we paid the bill out of the general fund. And
Yeah.
then that's,
yeah. There'll also be the double-sided Xerox machine to scan in titles is gonna be coming on my business account as well, but that one.
so until it gets its own line, it's coming out of the
Yeah,
general.
I'm taking it out of my administrative budget.
Okay.
I can always journal entry at a later date.
Okay.
Yeah. But the business credit card statement that you did find, that was 22's budget anyway, but yes. That should be the last thing that I should need. Maybe some organizational stuff for the plates when they come in into the safe.
Sure.
We did some deep cleaning in there last week. And threw away a bunch of old stuff that we've been hanging on to, some old liquor store credit card machines and made some extra space. So hopefully we'll be fine in there. So I feel bad because I'm still getting people asking me
Oh, yeah,
when,
we are too.
and I said it at the work session, I'm gonna continue saying it. To me, it should have been a push button kind of thing, and I'm getting a little impatient. So I'm gonna continue pushing my contacts as to what's holding it up. I can't honestly understand why it takes this long. But
Real good.
anything else?
I have nothing this year.
That's all I got
We
then.
have February 6th here for the regular meeting. February discussion.
No, I don't typically put that on there,
Okay,
but we
well, you
did
just
just,
down to May for that one, I guess.
Yeah.
On that early, so I was just kind of like, okay.
I think we discussed that
We
at the
probably did.
work session,
I think I-
Lori, and I think what we discussed was to do it on the 27th because the 20th is President's
Yeah.
Day.
You're right.
So it would be on the 27th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else they'd like to mention? Talk about? Then. Anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second that.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor? Aye. You're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.